Okay, in this video, I have recently updated my craps strategy. My previous strategy is still a strong and very useful strategy to use. And I always figured I would reach a point to where I would, maybe change the system. I think I may have even mentioned, the system may change. So over the past few months, I've been kind of thinking about the system, and I figured a better way to amplify the effects of the algorithm. And it also has a very strong concept behind it. It's almost the same thing, it's just a little bit different. I kind of wanted to just make everything so it was just automatic. So basically, the beauty of this strategy is you don't even really have to keep track of barely anything, as opposed to in the previous strategy you would always have to count three rolls. So the beauty of this new strategy is it's a lot simpler. I do find it to be more effective, and it's just unbelievably unstoppable. So the power of this system comes in through always keeping your bet at a minimum and very small amount when the roll has just began. And basically, the system is designed to where you should never reach a point where you can't get to a higher level. And with that being implemented into the system, it virtually ensures that this system is virtually undefeatable if you continue to come and basically connect the system with the system over and over. It's designed to defy the laws of gravity because it's going to keep losing a minimum amount when the roll just starts, and it's designed to keep making higher amounts of profit when the roll keeps going on. So this system will always capitalize and lose the very minimum, lose the very minimum, lose the very minimum, lose the very minimum, lose the very minimum. But when it starts winning, it's winning the very maximum, winning the very maximum, winning the very maximum. Now, the reason that this system becomes so powerful is due to the constraints that have been, algorithm algoritmized around how it all operates. And what I mean by that is it works off a very simple system, which I will show you when I start. And the system will always continue. It always continues, continues, and continues. And what that means is, since the system always continues and continues and continues, you basically can't reach a point to where there isn't something else where the system is going to go up further, go up further, go up further. See, that's where the martingale system becomes flawed, is where if you can't go higher, you cannot go higher, you can't go higher. They cap you, they cap you, they limit you. So this system is designed to get around. Oh, they're not going to be able to cap me. They're not going to be able to put my limit at this point so that they can block me. So basically, the whole time you're kind of just starting your roll, waiting to get a wicked sick roll, you're always betting just a tiny, tiny amount, and the further it keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. I have all sorts of random algorithms that play against each other that keep canceling each other out on both sides. Now, I'm just going to basically just show everybody now, since I just wanted to make sure everybody kind of understood my concept behind it. Now, this system all revolves around avoiding the 7 at all cost. So this entire time you're going to start using this system, you're going to keep plugging the system up to start avoiding the 7. And once you plug the system for hundreds of thousands of rolls, it'll almost look like the 7, you avoid the 7 like magic, because the entire system is always marching forward, uh, further and further away from the 7. So it's almost like tightening up a rubber band that always gets tighter, and you're just always, always, always going to get further and further and further away from the 7. And before you know it, if you plug the system long enough, it could take 10,000 rolls, it could take 100,000 rolls, it could take a fucking million rolls, who knows, it could take 100 million rolls. But with this system, of course, there's always the law of, the house advantage against you, so you're always going to be susceptible to a risk of loss, although the system is designed to kind of go in against those chances and kind of pull it back out. So if you're lucky enough to get the system to work in your favor, it will start to grab all of your previous losses. So you're only at the mercy of the roll being, fucking as bad as it could be. So the only thing you're really trying to avoid is get all sorts of rolls that don't matter. See, that would be your worst case scenario, is if you just keep rolling all these numbers, but it's not where your bet's at, and then you don't actually make any payouts. That's going to be as hard as it gets, is where you're not able to land anything that hits on your bet. And that's really as hard as it gets in this system. Now, let me tell you guys how the system works. I'm going to use a $10 example for the pass line, because around Colorado, our minimum bet around these craps tables are $10. Now, what we're going to do is, all we're going to do is count 3 rolls, no 7. As soon as you've counted 3 rolls, no 7, the roll is active. And then at that point, all you're going to be counting is how many points do you make. That's it. That is literally all you do. So all you do is you count 1, 2, 3. 3 rolls, no 7, and now your game is active. So once your game is active, you start off with a minimum place bet on 6 and 8, which would be 12 each. So you don't bet on 6 and 8 until your roll is active, because you're trying to eliminate 50% of the 7s that are expected to roll on those first 3 rolls, because there's a 50% chance that a 7 is going to roll within every 3 rolls. So you're counting 1, 2, 3. Okay, there was a 50% chance of a 7 rolling. So as soon as that first 50% chance of a 7 rolling has passed, boom, you're active. You're ready to take that next coin flip of 1, 2, 3. You're taking a 50% chance no 7 with new bets out, because you're basically flipping a new coin since you've already made it through that first stage. And going through these stages is what compresses and divides your losses and multiplies your winnings. So the power of this system is to take as much money away from where you're expected to be losing, and then basically put more money in where you're expected to be winning. Now, I'm going to just show you guys how this works. Now, here we go. Because if I roll a 7 at any point, I start over. The whole system revolves around counting 1, 2, 3, no 7, and the roll is active. Once the roll is active, all you have to do is keep track of if you make a point. Every single point that you make now certifies you at level 1. So you make your first point, you're at level 1. Maybe you can still make your first point without even becoming active. So if you were to make your first point before you're even active, so let's say you roll a 6 and then you roll a 6 right away, you'd be on the 2 count. You'd automatically be active on the next roll if you don't roll a 7. So at that point, since you're at level 1, what that means is every single level you add 1 unit to 6 and 8. And at level 1, you bet to win $10 on your odds. So before you're even active, you only have a $10 pass line, and you don't play odds, and you don't play anything. You don't play place bets. You only have a $10 pass line until you're active. And only until you're active do you only place a $12 6 and 8. And when you're active, you don't even take odds when you're active. You only start taking odds after you make the first point, level 1. So let's say that you're at level 1 because you made your first point. You would know that your 6 and 8 should be at 18 each, because you're going to always add one extra unit for every level that you make. So if you're at level 1, you're going to have an $18 6 and 8. And then you're going to have a bet on your odds to win $10. So every level, you're going to bet to win $10 per level on your odds. So on a 4 or 10, you're going to bet $5 to win 10 because you're at level 1. So basically, if you were at level 5, you would be betting to win $50. So on a 4 or 10, you're going to be betting $25 on your odds. So your entire system is constrained and tied to, well, what level are you on? So the only way that you're going to be betting large and more and bigger is once those levels are reached. So you're never even betting big unless you're already rolling good and making money. Okay, so now you guys have an idea of how the system works. I'm just going to kind of show you guys how to do it. 1. So that's not a 7. Anything that isn't a 7, even if I roll a yo 11 3 times in a row, it's still 3 rolls that a 7 didn't occur. That's all that you're looking at, is how many rolls no 7. 1 roll no 7. 2 rolls no 7. Remember, I'm not even active yet until I have 3 rolls no 7. So since I'm not even active, I haven't even started. 5. Okay, so I am active because that was the 3rd roll. I no longer have to keep track of 1, 2, 3, no 7 because we are already active. Now all I need to do is count how many points do I make. That was 1 point. I am at level 1. I no longer have to count how many rolls no 7. Okay, so I have an 8. Or 6 is a point. Now, I did say, since I'm at level 1, I would be betting 18 on 6 and 8. But since my point is 6, I'm not going to put an $18 6 up. I'm going to pretend as though my point is the actual place bet that would be there. Although, like I said, the only thing I'm keeping track of is I'm at level 1. So since I know I'm at level 1, well then I'm going to bet 10 to win $10. So a $10 bet wins 12, but it's close to $10. So that's all I'm going to bet. And I'm at level 1. And all I'm keeping track of is if I make this 6 or if I don't. If I don't make the 6, I start completely over. If I make the 6, I'm at level 2. So let's see what happens. Okay, and then we don't do anything. We just keep rolling. And you just keep rolling, try not to freak out if you roll a 7 because it's all part of the game. And it's not chasing after anybody. You'll feel like the 7 is coming after you and chasing you and targeting you, but it's not. Okay, you just have to, stop thinking crazy. All right. 1. Okay, that's a 7. So since it was a 7, I start my count over because I'm counting how many rolls no 7. So that obviously can't count as a roll towards a no 7 if it rolled 7. So it just starts over. 1, 2. Well, it was a 7 out. So I lost the very minimum. So most people, they're going to load up all the way across the board. Boom, they just lost all that money. I just saved more money that most people always keep losing, which is where this system is going to keep pulling out your money, at least in a 50-50 manner, to where you're kind of just floating solidly and you can kind of bounce back, as opposed to just completely just fucking melting, and no one knows, where's my money? It's like, you people are not studying the math. You're not understanding the algorithm. I'm showing you guys the algorithm. You have to just, you either have to just trust me or not. And if you're, you know what are you doing watching my video if you don't trust me? If you don't trust me, just go watch a different video. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. We don't worry about what we could have done, because what you could have done is what could never actually even happen. So if it's something that could never even actually happen, don't worry about it. Like if the previous roll was a 9, I'm not going to sit there saying, oh, why the fuck didn't I bet a 9? Okay, don't do that. Okay, it doesn't matter. You don't need to win every single thing the dice are rolling on. That's what people start thinking in their brain. Oh, it rolled on 9. Why didn't I bet on 9? I need to win on every single thing that the dice are rolling on. You do not need to win on every single roll the dice are rolling on. You people seem to think you need to win on every single roll that these dice flip onto. I don't know. You're psyching yourselves out. You're sadly mistaking yourselves. I'm only trying to keep it real. All right, we're at level 1. We're still at level 1. Oh, now we start completely over because we avoid the 7 like a bat out of hell. So I'll show you. 1. I take everything down. I start completely over. I was at level 1, but now I start over. If the 7 rolls at any point, you start completely over. Absolutely 100% you start over. Let's say you were at level 9. If that 7 rolls on a come out roll, you completely start over. Your roll is not even active. You are now on level 0 and you are trying to get back onto level 1, which is what makes this system so powerful, is because you're going to stay so far away from the 7 that it's never going to have a chance to even come close. Just pay attention. 1, 2, 3. 3 rolls, no 7. The roll is active. What that means when the roll is active is it has just started. Everyone thinks that, that the roll is like always going on and it's just fucking, it's gonna end. But I like to always keep reminding people, like, why, like, I don't tell people, hey, don't bet so much, but I kind of say it in a way like, just so everyone knows, everything is just now starting. So when I mention a comment like, hey guys, everything's now just starting, it's just starting, why would people go dump so much money into all these random bets if everything just started? So of course I'm not going to go tell everybody, like, you're dumb for placing all these giant bets when everything just started. But I'm going to say it in a way where, okay, well, the roll just started. Think about it. Okay, if the roll just started, how do we know what the fuck we even want to do? So I kind of always portray it like that. Like, hey, it's just starting. So you guys always have to just keep telling yourself and reminding yourself, it just started. Where everyone always feels like they're missing out. Like, oh, I need to be there. I need to be there. I need to be there. But everything is just starting. You don't need to be anywhere. Okay, I believe that was the third roll, no 7. I can't remember. But what I'm going to do is just do one more roll, just in case it was only 2. And we're at level 1, because we made our first point. We are active. Alright, so we're at level 1. That means I add 1 unit to my what would normally be just a $12 6 and 8, but since I'm at level 1, I add another $6 to my 6 and 8. And since I'm at level 1, I'm gonna bet to win $10 on my odds. And that's it. You don't even have to think about anything. Nothing. The only thing you have to think about is what level are you on? If I make this 4, I'm on level 2. That's it. That's all I gotta know. Look at this. It doesn't matter if I could be pressing that. I don't need to press that. Why would anybody need to press anything if you're already winning on it? People just want to be greedy. Oh man, I wanted to win more. Like how are you supposed to know that that's even going to happen? You can't know that that's going to happen. You people think you're going to know that something's going to happen when you can't know that something's going to happen. Alright, so anyway, that's level 2. And we start over, because we're avoiding the 7 like a bat out of hell. So we're taking everything off of the table. 1. 1 roll, no 7. I took all my money off the table because I just saw a fucking 7. Remember, I stay away from the 7 like a bat out of hell. I am staying as far away from these 7 as I can possibly fucking get. We're at level 1 because that was roll 1. We made the point, so that's roll 2. Remember, and it restarted. So the next roll will make us active on level 1. If it isn't a 7. So we are at level 1. And that's it. That is literally it. 7. And then it just starts over. 1, 2, 3. The roll is active. I'm not going to be betting on the 9 just yet until I make the first point. 7 out. See, I lost the minimum because most people are already going to have fucking every single bet in the world out there. And then they just... How are you ever going to come back from when you're betting the most you can right when you very first start? You can't go betting the most that you can right when you're just starting. Because if you lose, the easiest way to get that money back is to bet more. So how are you going to bet more if you already bet maximum? It's stupid. It's absolutely dumb. You basically trap yourself by not allowing yourself to come in with a fucking army. You gotta come back with an army to get your fucking money. Okay, so if your army gets destroyed right when the roll first starts, how is your army ever gonna come get your army out of there? So don't go putting your whole army on the whole fucking line. You send in 1 soldier at a time, because if you lose that soldier, you're going to have to send backup to get that soldier back. So this system revolves around sending in more soldiers, more soldiers, more soldiers, more soldiers to get back your other soldiers. So if you lose all your soldiers, how are you going to send in more soldiers? 1, 2, 3. We would have been active. 1, 2, 3. The roll is active. 7 out. 2, 3. Level 1. Oh, we start over. It was a 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, level 1. I mean, if your bets lose, you couldn't have known that. So you guys gotta stop thinking that somehow you're supposed to know that. Because you can't know that. Well, I mean, unless you know that. I mean, but then you gotta be honest with yourself. Do you actually know that? And most of the time, you really can't say that you do. Unless you're maybe a professional. 1, 2, 3. See, we're losing the minimum. 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Remember, you have got to create a system where you always do the exact same thing. Because that's what the casino does. 1, 2, 3. I had to start over because we rolled a 7. So that's where everyone's going wrong, is you have to reverse their system with the system that you do the exact same every time also. So when they do the exact same thing every time and you do the exact same every time, the system will counterbalance. It isn't going to counterbalance as solidly if it isn't always doing the exact same thing. Because now the system is a larger cycle to kind of operate through. So you're going to be perceiving things differently, and you may not even know it. Okay. Now, I'm basically done with the video because I just wanted to show everybody. And I will be releasing videos with this strategy. And I'm not going to explain it. It's just going to be playing the strategy. Since now I released the strategy, I taught you guys the strategy. Now you guys know the strategy. Now I will release videos where I use the strategy for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And you guys are just going to observe the session. And we're going to keep track of the win-loss. This isn't going to count. I'm not going to keep track of this one, since it's just me explaining how the system works. 7 out. Okay, well, just showing you guys the system. I mean, just off $10 bets, already up $231. Of course, you can't expect to always win, and you definitely can't expect this system to guarantee you to win either, although it should be considered as one of your most favorable options of approach. And good luck to everybody. I hope everybody has learned a little bit here on this craps video. I don't mean to come off harsh or rude, calling people stupid, but I'm just keeping it real, because it happens. There are people out there making these bad bets that it's stupid. I don't care what anybody wants to say. I mean, I'm not gonna go tell that person like, hey, you're dumb for betting like that. But as far as knowing it for myself, I know it for myself. That's something you should know for yourself.